Mightyreacts, back with the reacts. We are reacting to he pulled off the most successful bank heist in history. Bro, if he did it by himself, he's the guy. Video by Ray William. So without further ado, let's react.
So this French guy pulls off maybe the craziest bank heist of all time. Now the guy's name is Albert. And Albert is around 44 when this story starts, living in France. And Albert, he's kind of a turd in the past. He's been to prison a couple of times, but he's out now and he's living a clean life working as a photographer. Good for him. However, Albert runs into a problem. This middle-class existence he's been living lately, it's kind of boring. He misses his old criminal life, and that was really exciting for him. And one day in 1976, he discovers a way to get that old thrill back. Because he walks into a local bank. And when he steps into the safe deposit room, he notices something interesting. The room has no alarm system. And that is when he gets an insane idea. What if he were to rob the bank? That might be exciting. And so he starts scoping out the place, and he opens an account, and he makes frequent visits, acting like a normal customer. But when he's there, he takes a bunch of photos of the vault's layout. But here's the thing. Although the bank has no alarm system, pretty quickly Albert realizes that breaking in through the front door, that's just way too risky. So he starts thinking, what if I break in through the sewers? Maybe I could access the vault through there. And so at night, when no one's around, he goes and he scouts out the city's sewer system in the area, trying to find the best way that he can get from there into the bank. And he spends like 6 days going in and out of the sewer tunnels like a frickin' Ninja Turtle, but with no signs and no maps and no directions down there, he keeps getting lost. And so he heads over to the city office and he requests the blueprints of the entire sewer system. And I guess the staff there thinks Albert's some kind of builder working on a home project, so they hand them over to him with no problem. Once Albert starts studying the sewer layout, he realizes this heist is going to be big. He's gonna need more manpower. And so, who does he get to help him? The mob. And so Albert, he goes and he recruits 10 mob members and 10 of his other friends to join him. And so, boom, they all get to work, working during the night in the sewer, digging a side tunnel little by little. Here's actually an image of the tunnel they spend all their time building. Meanwhile, all this is going on underground, and no one seems to notice. Not even the people in the buildings above. Or maybe they do hear it and they just think it's like city workers or something. I don't know. But no one reports anything. And 2 months go by. And finally, they reach the concrete right beside the bank's vault. And just a few inches more and they'll be in. And so Albert and the guys wait. They wait for the weekend when the bank is closed. Then they cut through the concrete and finally they make it inside the vault. But their work's not done yet. Clearing out this entire vault, that's gonna take them a couple of days. And so they get to work and they use welding tools and they weld the vault door shut from the inside. I guess to like buy themselves some time in case the police arrive. Then they crack open the safe deposit boxes and they start taking everything out of them. Cash, jewelry, gold, gemstones. And they keep this going all weekend long. I mean, they are there all weekend long.
Bro, that amount of money they have in the banks, so... Anyways.
Like they cook food in there, they eat and they drink together in there.
Bro,
they
so much money
in there. They poop in like containers. Ugh, you can just go out in the sewer and poop and come back in. Why you gotta use a container?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But here's where the story gets really wild. So Monday morning comes, and the heist is finally done. They have everything they need, and they crawl all the way out of the tunnel, and they leave the scene. And no one spots them, and they all get away. And a few hours go by, and it's time for the bank to open up. And so the bank opens up and some customers show up like any other normal day, and some of them want to access their safe deposit boxes, which are in the vault. And so a bank employee goes to open the vault, and boom, it doesn't work. The door won't open, because remember, Albert and his team welded it shut. And so the bank employees are like, Sacre bleu, what is going on? And they keep trying,
that's a great plan,
the door won't open. They even try to break the door, but that still doesn't work. And hours go by, And they finally get some guys to show up who end up using jackhammers on the wall beside the door, and they're able to create a small hole. And when they look inside that hole into the vault, they realize it's empty. They've been robbed. And when they finally get inside the vault, they discovered that 317 safe deposit boxes have been cleaned out, and Albert has stolen nearly 46 million francs. Or about 10 million US dollars.
Hey, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money in 1976. That's a lot of money now.
Yes.
So, of course, they call police, and police start investigating all this. And pretty quickly, someone flips, and police learn that Albert was the mastermind behind the whole heist.
How?
And so, bam, they arrest him. Here's his mugshot. And Albert, he seems to be a nice guy, so he confesses. He's like, I did it. And so it looks like he's finally gonna pay for his crimes. Until...
Dun, dun.
Here's the thing. Albert, he's not ready to go to prison. Like, he really seems to be enjoying the thrill of this criminal life that he's gotten back into. And so he comes up with a plan to escape. And one day in 1977, he's at a hearing in the judge's office. He hasn't been sentenced yet. And Albert says that he's feeling hot, and so he goes to open up a window. And he opens it up, and right then, boom, he straight up jumps out of it, and he lands on a parked car, and then skirt, a motorcycle pulls up, and one of his friends is driving it. And so he hops on the back of it, and the guys take off. And it all happens so fast that police, they don't even realize what's going on, and by the time they do, Albert has already fled. I guess Albert and his friend apparently had this whole escape planned out. And so police, they look everywhere for him. But they can't find him. He's long gone. And 2 years go by.
Holy shit, 2 years.
It's now 1979. And the court sentences Albert anyway. Like, he's sentenced to life in prison even though they have no idea where he's at.
Bro, I didn't know that they can sentence you without you being there. And life
Meanwhile,
for a
Albert,
heist?
he's out there living his best life. He's got a ton of money from his share of the heist, and he's apparently, like, living a life of luxury.
I live in my best life.
But he ain't trying to get caught, so he's always on the move. And he's always in disguise. He's, like, always wearing wigs and using fake passports and moving between Brazil and Chile and Argentina. He even gets plastic surgery at one point so that no law enforcement will recognize him. And it works. Like, no one finds him for years. Here's actually a little bit of footage of him in disguise, and you can see what is clearly a fake beard. And so over time, Albert even starts to get a little cocky, thinking the police will never catch him. Apparently, he starts mailing pictures of himself to newspapers and magazines saying, "Hello from Albert," just letting everyone know that he still hasn't been caught. It's like he's taunting the police.
Yeah, this guy is crazy.
Not only that, this dude writes 3 books during his time on the run, bragging about the heist he pulled off. And he somehow gets them published. And this goes on for the next 12 years. And so it's now
12 years
1989.
on the run?
Albert still hasn't been caught. In fact, he never gets caught. Like, they never catch him.
Holy
he eventually dies from cancer, still a free man. And to this day, the police never found the millions of francs of stolen money that he took. Not a...
Bro, what the fuck do you think? They gonna... bro, they cannot even find the man. And now you think they're gonna get some money back? Bro, this man spent all this money and make more money. Bro, he was living his best life.
Single bit of it. Plus, out of the 20 people involved in the heist, only 3 were ever caught and sentenced. Like I said, like one of the most successful heists in history. And a huge shout.
But bro, that was a good thing. Those 3 men didn't snitch. I think they got their part of the money. Or maybe they didn't get the part of the money. And yes, man, this was the end of the video. Shout out to Ray William with a great story. And yes, guys, see you guys on the next reaction. Go.